Hello, today I will be showing you how to divide using the standard algorithm. I will be showing you a visual representation of what you try to figure out when you divide. So, we have one rod to represent 10 and one dot to represent 1. If we have 8 rods and 8 dots, then we have 88 in total. And we have 4 different boxes which we divide them to. So, what we try to do first is get all of these equally divided into these. So we always start with the largest place value, and in this case the largest place value is 10. So we have to give one of them, if there are enough, to one of each box, and in this case there are enough. In fact, you can give 2 to each, as there are 8, and 8 divided by 2 equals 4. So 8 obviously gives you enough to put 2 in each. So we draw 2 lines representing tens in each box, and then we erase them from the top. So once we are done with one place value, we move on to the next, the ones. So in this case, we have 8 ones as well. So if there are 8, we can put 2 4s in 8. So that would mean we can give each of the boxes 2 ones. So we'll just draw that. Now we can erase them from the top. And then we had written 20 from the last problem to represent there are 20 in each box. So now that we have added more, we'll have to add 2 to each to get the answer. So now when you add each of these up, you have the answer of 22. So the answer is 88 divided by 4 equals 22. Now I'll be showing you what you do in the standard algorithm. So what you do is see how many of the number over here, the divisor, goes into the first place value of the dividend. So you would write 4 times 2 equals 8, as we already know that from the previous problem. So then once you have written that, you have to write 4 times 2 below the 8. So there, and then you subtract it. So the answer to that is 0. And then the next step is to bring down the next digit, which now gives us 8. Now we have to see how much of this number again goes into this number. It's the same number as over here, so this answer is 2 again, and subtraction, the answer is 0. And now we have no more numbers to bring down, so our final answer is 22. So 88 divided by 4 equals 22. So now I'll be showing you what you had done in the visual representation of the division problem. So the first step you did was divide. You saw that you could fit 2 tens in each box, so you divided 8 by 4 there. Then you multiplied by seeing 2 multiplied by 4 is 8, so 8 total tens. Then you subtracted by this 8 minus that 8 over there. So then you brought down. You did not do this in the visual representation because you had no leftover tens that could not be divided between 4. So you skipped that step in this problem. Now I'm going to show you what you did when you used the standard algorithm. You did the same process of divide, multiply, subtract, and bring down, but just in a different way. So when you saw how many 4s could fit in 8, you did the divide step. So you wrote 2 and 8, and then when you wrote this 8 over here, that is when you multiplied. You multiplied 4 by 2. So then you subtracted, and you got 2. No, sorry, you got 0. And then you brought down, and then you wrote 8, and then you started the same process, and then you got the answer of 22, and that's the process of what you did when you divided using the standard algorithm. So now let's try a harder problem. 328 divided by 8. So we have a new place value introduced, known as the hundreds. They will be represented by squares. So we do not have enough hundreds. We have 300s to give 1 to each of the 8 boxes. So then what we have to do is we have to trade them in for tens. So you erase them. You erase one, and then draw then you draw 10 rods. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you do that for the other ones as well. So erase this. And then write 10 rods. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. And then you move on to the last 100 and draw 10 rods. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. So now you have 12 rods in total, and you have 32 rods in total, and we know 8 times 4 equals 32, so we can give 4 to each of the boxes. So then you would erase 4 and then give 4, and you erase another 4 and give 4, and continue until you're done with all of them. And then and 1, 2, 3, 4. And just the last 2. and that's 4 to each, so you would write 40 to each one of the boxes. So now once you have done the tens, you go on to the ones. So we have 8 ones, and we know 8 goes into 8 very easily. So you just add 1 to each box, and then you erase these, and then your final answer should be, after you've added the 1 to each 40, it should be 41. So 328 divided by 8 equals 41. So now for the standard algorithm we would use, so we would see how many of these go into this. But over here, this number is bigger than this. So we have to move on to both of these numbers. So we know that 8 goes into 32 4 times. So then we multiply 8 by 4, 8 to 4, and we get 32. We subtract, we get 0, and then we bring down 8. Then 8 goes into 8 one time, so subtract and 0, your answer is 41. 328 divided by 8 equals 41. Now I will show you how to divide with decimals. So we have 10, 1 rod. We can't give 1 rod to 2 boxes equally, so we trade it in for tens. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and we erase the rod. So then we equally divide them. So then each would get 7. So all of them had 7, but there's 1 left over. So we'll have to trade this in for 0.1s. So our sign for that can be a trapezoid. So 10 trapezoids. And then we can erase that 1. Now once we have 10 trapezoids, which each equal 0.1, we can give 5 to each, because 10 divided by 2 is 5. So then you give 5 to each, so I'm gonna just do that. So now that that's done, we can write the final answer for each, which should be 7.5. So 15 divided by 2 equals 7.5. Now when we do that problem in the standard algorithm, 15 divided by 2. So we know we can't put 2 in 1, so we have to skip that and see how many 2's we can put in 15. We can put, the maximum we can put is 7. And then we'll have 14, subtract, we'll have 1 left over. Now what you do here is you make that longer and put a decimal point on each one of them, and then you put a 0 on over here, and then you continue the process and you bring that down. So then you write 10, and we know that we can put 2 times 0.5 equals 10 equals 1, because half of 2 is 1. So the final answer should be it should be 7.5. Now that you know how to divide, try solving 482 divided by 8. Just a hint, in the answer, there are decimals in it.